Today I want to cover a variation called the cross step bear, which is going to further improve core stabilization and balance. Now the footwork for the cross step bear can be a little confusing, but don't worry, because today I'm going to break it down into bite-sized chunks for you. Let's get to it. First off, we're just going to take a look at the setup exactly the same as if we were to do the bear, the basic bear, the A-frame, and that is starting with our hands, feet, shoulder width apart, shoulders over our hands, hips over our knees. From here, we're going to drive our butt up into the air as high as possible. First, let's take a look at coordinating the body and using the bear by taking one step forward, in this case with my right hand. Left foot comes forward, left hand, right foot. Now, the key point here is making sure that I'm driving my butt high up into the air. This is going to come into play when we start working on the cross step. So first and foremost, make sure that you've got this down. Being able to coordinate your hands and feet when using the basic bear. Next off, I'd like for you to change the dynamic of the bear just slightly by bringing your feet closer together. Now, when performing this, your toes, your feet are still going to be facing forward, but they're just going to be together. And what's going to happen is that it'll bring better focus to your balance point. Because your feet are closer together, you're going to find that there's going to be a sway to your hips, just slightly, just slightly. You're not pushing your hips out or anything. Your toes are still facing forward, but you're performing this bear, trying to keep your feet as close together as possible. By doing that, it's going to give you really good feedback as long as you continue to drive your hips up into the air as you shuffle your feet forward close together. A lot of people, when they're performing the cross step bear, they step their foot up over and continue to step over as if they were pigeon-toed. But what's very, very important is making sure that you pivot on the balls of your feet. Without getting into the bear position, we're going to stand up and focus on getting the footwork right so that when we go back and perform it with the bear, it'll be easy. So looking at the footwork, what I'm actually going to do is start off, and rather than having my toes facing forward, they're going to be off at an angle. Now from here, we would like for you to go up on your toes. And the purpose for doing this is that we're going to pivot on this front foot here as the back leg steps across. So as soon as this back leg comes forward, I will pivot in order to turn my feet in the opposite direction. So that now this becomes the back leg. And as I step forward, I pivot off of my front leg. And I can continue moving forward, just practicing this motion to get the footwork down so that when I put it all together, working on the bear, it's seamless. It's easy. We broke it apart. We focused on the components, making sure that we understood and brought awareness to what that part of our body, our feet, should be doing, so that when we put it together, it's much easier. Chunking things in this way is the way to go. So you've got the regular bear. You've got the bear where you brought your feet close together. You stood up. You worked on the pivot with the feet. Now let's just put it together. Remember, the key point here, even though the focus has to be a bit on the feet, we always want to remember to push the hips high up into the air. First, start off in this A-frame. And to start off and make it a little easier for us, we can actually start by shifting the feet so that this time they're facing in the same direction. This time I want to bring my left foot across my body, but remember, I need to pivot on my feet here. So I take a step with my hand. This right foot, which is my back leg, comes off the floor. As I reach forward, in this case with my right hand, the left foot pivots, and I can place the right foot across my body as I step forward with my left hand. I now have the weight on my right foot, so that allows me to bring my left foot off of the ground. I pivot on the right foot, stepping across, driving my hips up into the air. Right hand forward. Right foot comes up. I pivot on the left foot. And I can continue to practice the cross step bear. A lot of things to think about. Am I driving my hips up into the air? What's going on with my feet? What's going on with my hands? But by breaking it apart like we did where we first focused on going back to the bear, even if you're very comfortable with it, do that. Practice that. Okay, right, left, okay, left, right. Work on getting your feet together. then stand up, cross step just with your feet standing. Then you can start to put it together. It's going to make things much easier. It's going to flow better. And by doing that, you're bringing better awareness to what's going on in your body. You'll be able to practice the cross step bear in a way. It's going to allow you to further improve your hip mobility and the coordination within your body. All right, so give that a try. Let me know what you think of it. And hey, have fun.